I'm about to take you through a text conversation that I had with a woman, and she kind of rejected me in the text conversation. So with the purpose of this video is going to really get you to focus on principle 1, which is fire and forget. It's the mindset of texting. And inside of principle 1, we're going to really key in on emotional endurance. And of course, that is all explained in the Principles of Texting ebook or Texting Mastery if you want to refer to emotional endurance. But basically what you want to do is, like, if you get rejected, you want to be able to control your emotions and play it cool so you don't come off as needy or emotional, because women want a guy that is emotionally steady. So again, this is principle 1, and a shout out to my man Devin from the VIP membership. He actually gave me this idea to go through these text example videos again and explain further how each of them related to the 5 principles of attraction with women. And so I'm going through this because of his recommendation, so thank you, Devin. Here we go. When a woman rejects you, here is how you should respond. So in this instance here, I'm pointing to the time because at a little past midnight, I got some texts and phone calls from this girl that I had seen in the past, and she had just got out of a relationship. Her and I still lived nearby each other, and so she had called me and I was out of town, but then I got these texts. I showed up there, but you didn't answer. So she showed up to my house because we were within walking distance, and then she said, "Adam, call me." This took me by surprise a little bit because we hadn't talked for a couple years really, because she was in a relationship. An important point, again, I hadn't talked to her for like 2 years, and out of the blue, I got those texts and phone calls. And the reason for this is when you follow the 5 principles, it's a long-term strategy. So things like this practicing this emotional endurance and not getting upset when you're going to see in a moment here when there's like a sort of a rejection. When you keep your cool always and you don't get emotional, you don't get needy, then girls that even go into relationships, if they in that relationship, they get out of that relationship, you're going to be one of the first people that she's going to want to text again to try to hang out, because you left on a good note. You didn't get needy with her. You didn't get clingy. You didn't get angry with her. So when you keep your cool, that's why this is so important for the emotional endurance. When you keep your cool and all that principle 1, just really having your mindset down with this, then you get these opportunities that come up randomly after 2 years. So again, keep your cool, keep your emotions in check when you're texting, especially early in the dating stage. The next day, so you see up here was 12:23 or 12:22 a.m. The next day at 10 in the morning, she responded with, "Hey Adam, even though I want to see you, I kind of just said what I wanted because I was drunk and didn't think it through. I have a lot going on and have to wait till I'm in a better place and have things worked out." Now, when this happens, it's always nice when you can let a girl go, give her the space to take care of what she needs to take care of. Sure, some guys would try to convince her, like, "Oh, let's hang out, we should hang out," and like try to pressure her into hanging out because she gave a green light last night or the night before. But I want women to have a good experience with me, and I don't want them to ever regret their time. When she mentioned this, here's how I responded, and here's a great way for you to respond anytime you get rejected. "I so want to see you, but I understand if you need time. You let me know when you want a night off, and I'll set something up for us. Thumbs up." And then I leave her alone. That's the important part. So I'm just letting her know, hey, I understand you need time. She just got out of a really long relationship, and I'm letting her know, hey, when you want a night off, let me know and I'll plan something for us. That's the way I play it, and then I give her a space, and then I leave her alone, as opposed to what a lot of guys do is they try to pressure her into hanging out, or they keep like sending messages to her when she just wanted some alone time, and that's what I'm going to give her. And then when she's ready, she'll text me again. So that is a good way to respond whenever you get rejected, is play it off like it's no big deal and then give her space. Now let's unpack this just a tiny bit more and go into emotional endurance. Again, part of principle 1, fire and forget. That's the mindset of texting. So the emotional endurance, so think of endurance like a long race. You have to have endurance to win a marathon or to win a long race. So with the emotional endurance, what you're doing is you are showing women, you're practicing emotional endurance by showing women that you can go a long period of time without getting emotional and reacting to things. This is where if you were to seem jealous, seem clingy, seem needy by constantly texting her after something like this, that shows that you don't have emotional endurance, because you're like, oh, I can't hang out with you, and then all of a sudden you get emotional and you have to text her about it. So you want to be steady as long as possible. And a really good way to think about this is just imagine, how would James Bond text girls? Just imagine if a girl said that she couldn't hang out. And again, if you look back at the text, I didn't really get rejected necessarily. But when she regretted sending me the drunk text because she had just got out of a relationship, and then she says, hey, I'm not ready to hang out, do you think James Bond would freak out? Or he would just be like, oh, cool. All right, no worries. Work on yourself, figure that out, and then let me know if you want to hang out later. And I know that this is hard to do. I know that you're going to want to go, well, I want to see how she's feeling. I want to see if she's okay. That will get you a recipe for the friend zone, because what would happen then is you always check in on her, and then she starts to tell you her problems, and she starts to link you as a friend, the guy that she can go to tell her problems to. So when you're cool about it, you have that emotional endurance, and you go leave it off in a good note. Notice that I was just like, hey, I totally understand. Hey, I want to see you, but I totally understand. And then the most powerful thing is, after that, I don't text her again until she texts me. And the reason why is she just texted me out of the blue after 2 years of not communicating. So think about that and just trust in your mind that, okay, she still thought about me after 2 years. So if I tell her, take your time, I'm not going to text her again. If she thinks about me again, then she would text me. And of course, I didn't save it. I have way too many texts and they get lost and all that. But about 2 weeks later, she texted me out of the blue and we ended up setting up a date. And that is because she was then ready at that time. She wasn't drinking and emotional like when she first texted me. She had her time to sort things out, and then we end up going out. So emotional endurance, practice that. Stay steady. Don't get needy. Don't get clingy. Don't think you have to do anything. Don't get jealous. Just play it cool like James Bond would.